Time now for News Talk, and Adam Lawless is joining us here to talk about Angels in America, and the production is actually coming to the Stanley Theater this coming weekend on Saturday night. But this is a traveling show starting off in Albany, then Utica, and then into Syracuse. So you already had Albany's performance. How did that one go?
It went really well. We were at SUNY Albany. That was a really cool experience to do my first traveling show, and for a lot of us it was our first traveling show, and it was the first live performance in front of an audience of this show, and it went really well. We had a lot of fun. So now we're looking forward to bringing it to our hometown. A lot of us are from the Utica area, so to have it at the Stanley Theater on Saturday is going to be really kind of cool.
I want to talk about Angels in America and the actual show itself in just a moment. But first, let's talk a little bit about the aspect of this traveling and the production company, and how did that all come about?
Well, the production company is called Walk the Boards Productions. Now, this is a locally based production company with a local director who likes to focus on not just bringing new artists into the community and really bringing people up, but he's focusing on education. So when you're going through this process, he really likes to focus on your characterization, getting to know the character and learning more about yourself as an actor, and bringing in shows that this area doesn't necessarily always get to have. This is the first time I know that Angels in America has been performed locally, I believe, and to have that type of a magnitude of a show here and to be on the Stanley stage is really momentous.
Yeah, and you were saying too that just like you've been learning a lot too, right?
We started 5 months ago, so this is the most I've worked on one show over an extended period of time. I know this character inside and out at this point, which is awesome. So when we go on stage, it becomes less about acting than it is to portray a character, which knowing that the nuance between those two things is really quite interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of people know this is my husband, and this is probably the most I've seen you in 5 months, actually.
Okay, yeah, given that too.
All right, so let's talk about Angels in America. This is, I guess it's based in the 80s, right? During the AIDS crisis. And a lot of people may not be, you're so far removed from the 80s, but there's a new movie out, Buyers Club, Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
And that kind of, it's similar in that sense.
Yes, it's set in New York City during the Reagan era, so that's the mid to late 80s. And it is around the time of the AIDS epidemic, and that is what this story really does focus on. It talks about, a bunch of different characters who are affected by the AIDS crisis in some way, or their sexual identity, and a coming out in an age where it was kind of scary to be an out individual. The AIDS epidemic is still an issue that we deal with today, so it still has a lot of relevance in today's world. So it's showing you a glimpse into the past of what people were going through when AIDS was first striking, when people didn't know what it was, what it was about, what caused it, and certainly had no signs of any type of a cure or treatment. So this really does follow this cast of characters through a very difficult time, and not only the people who were affected directly by a disease, but the people who were closest to them and how they reacted to it. And when any family or family unit is struck by a disease like this, whether it be cancer or AIDS or whatnot, you never get to really always see how the partner is affected.
Yeah.
So this really goes into depth about how the friends and the family are affected by a disease or coming out.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even want to talk about that because they feel guilty, that they feel maybe upset about the fact that they have to help out so much and they can't do what they normally would want to do. They feel guilty for feeling that way, but it does happen.
Well, diagnosis like HIV or AIDS or cancer or any disease that has a potential death sentence affects everyone around you because it affects the future that you have and what you planned on doing.
Yeah, definitely. Information on the show, let's take it and put it right up on the screen here for you. This is happening at the Stanley Theater this coming Saturday, April 5th. It starts at 7:30. Call that number to get yourself some tickets, 315-724-4000. And like you mentioned too, you alluded to it, a lot of people that are in this production are local. Being able to perform on the Stanley stage has got to be pretty cool. This is not really your first time, right?
Well, it's my first time in a large role like this. I was able to perform on the Stanley stage years ago as a kid in Scrooge, and so many people locally have been able to perform it that way, but this was on my leap list of things to do, and I'm really happy to be able to scratch that off in a few days.
So definitely check it out. It should be lots of fun. It's a heavy show. It's an important show.
It is a heavy show, and it's an adult show. It's definitely for upper teens and up,
Okay, Adam Lawless with Angels in America. And we have the weather coming up next.